access to riches, access to assets, access to contracts, access to assets, access to riches.
You get free songs from that.
Access to contracts, access to assets, access to riches, access to assets, access to contracts.
Hey, so Ace Aerospace here, and I've been getting a lot of people to ask me at different times, what do I do, or some people say secrets and stuff like that to success, all that kind of stuff. But I think that one of the best kept secrets, in a sense, as far as industry, people wanting to work. I'm not talking about just I don't know, humming and saying give me money or whatever. But as far as me being satisfied in what I do, I think that aviation has been one of the most fulfilling and profitable industries that we have. As far as I'm driving and people just are pretty reckless, but that's why the music is. If you could hear the music, I have my dog in the back. Thinks he's a kid. So anyway, what I'm saying is, no matter what you do, what skill set you have, you could have a trade or a profession and make substantial income in the aviation industry. And this is what I've done for past 2 decades. And it's been very, it's allowed me to adventure into other things that I wanted to explore while I was doing it. I'm still currently in the field because you find your niche, in a sense, or your skill set. But for example, I'll tell you how whatever you do, it can cater around this industry. I had a buddy. I knew it was a guy I knew growing up in grade school, and he went to. I was already working in the field at the time, and I'll go into that. But he went to a trade school and picked up automotive painting. He then, I'm not sure what jobs he may have had prior, but he went to a military base. They hired him at a military base for a painter. So he became an aircraft painter. It can't basically take away your ability to be an automotive painter, so maybe he could still do that on the side or have his own little thing going on. However, but just sticking to aviation, that made him an aircraft painter. So once he's an aircraft painter, he applied to Delta in Atlanta, and he basically was telling me that his income went up dramatically, like within like 3 years, things like that. So that's just one, and that's just one example of like that where you're invested in the company. Personally, what I did, I started with the trade. I started with aircraft structurals, which is sheet metal, which is the way I like to explain it is, if it's a car, I worked on the body of a car. I also worked on airframes at times, but I took that trade. I got a job. I also got a job. It's for I had a co-op position, which is like an intern. I worked that. I got my experience at the place. I also went to a base. I went to an Air Force base. I was able to, at that moment, engage with a lot of people that like fitness. I was into fitness a lot, which is still something else I like. I have to tell the people to call me back. I was trying to call. So, I got the trade, and I continued my education. If I first got 5-6 years under my belt with the trade, with where they placed me, and once I did that, I continued to go to school because ultimately I wanted to be, or I pursued an engineering degree. Some people from the trade school, I am getting so many calls because this is powerful. This is very powerful. Someone will need this information. So that's why my phone is just going. So basically, I got the trade, and I had low income. So the program I was under allowed me to take so much of my schooling and education, for free or for minimum cost. So once I got that trade, I got a job. I got a legit job on a base, and I continued my education to pursue and being an engineer. Still in the same industry. Therefore, it became where I was continuing education and gaining experience simultaneously. I first got what you would call an FCC, a Federal Communications Certificate. This has a lot to do with avionics-based things, or how the electronics work. And it's basically so you can communicate, but it teaches you a lot about the electronics and electricity of aircraft, specifically. So I went overseas, just having a trade, which is the aircraft structural, so sheet metal. I went overseas, got that trade, got that certificate overseas with the U.S. Army. Learned with them, side by side classes. Then once I returned to the U.S., I had saved money already. I was already making the 6 figures this time I went overseas, and a lot of it was tax-free. So that was another thing. Aviation allows you to travel. They'll call you to go to different places. They'll pay for you to go to different places. aircraft are everywhere, so a lot of times you will get paid to travel. You'll get paid to travel. After that, I returned to the U.S. I only did 1 year. Returned to the U.S., saved up enough money, and got an AMP, airframe and power plant license. Once I got my airframe and power plant license, it opened up doors. I was basically a contractor, and I still used my first initial trade skills with a license, which made me more marketable, while still pursuing my engineering degree. So I was working and again, getting a lot of different experience with avionics, with being a mechanic, just a straight tech, a straight aircraft mechanic tech, different parts of the aircraft. And I was very valuable because I had this along with my structures. I was able to drill out screws or remove things that other mechanics they may knew in general, but it wasn't a specific skill for them. So the thing about working in aviation, a lot of companies will also pay for you to be educated, for you to continue your education, I would say. And that's what happened. I was gaining experience, and I got a job with Boeing. And Boeing actually offers to give you stock shares if you get a degree with them. If you get a degree, you're working with Boeing, they'll give you, I think for a bachelor at the time, it was like 100 shares. They want you to stay with them for 3 years, but that's money, more money in the bank, right? So that's why I'm telling you, this like a well kept secret in a sense. If you don't know, you just don't know. I'm able to work hands-on, and I'm able to utilize my mind and be creative if I want, or it's a lot of things that I'm going to start trying to get out about aviation. I've been an instructor, I've been an inspector, I'm an engineer, licensed, I have trades, degrees in this industry. And a lot of people, again, they ask me, well, how are you doing this and that? The industry allowed me to travel. It allowed me to venture into other interests I have, and stay with that, at the same time. There's a high demand for aviation mechanics, tech, engineers, you name it. So that is basically in a nutshell. Well, I would say once I got my degree with Boeing, I still had amplitude of opportunities to travel in the states, out of the states, and I got my degree. I got hired in as an engineer. Well, I got hired in as a tech with Lockheed. Then I applied within the company and became an engineer within Lockheed, because I had finished my Bachelor's of Science in Aeronautics and my minor was in engineering. So all that, I could start gaining my experience, have other opportunities to still go to school and things like that. Lockheed, what they do is you can go to school and they maybe if you need a loan, that's fine too, but they will reimburse you for your classes. So you know you're not losing the money if you're really focused on it and you're really taking it serious and you basically pay it back and everything, or you get paid to learn, you get paid to gain experience, you get paid to travel. So this is how I'll gain a lot of points on all these things I will break down, but I gain a lot of points with the airlines and things like that and hotels from something I'm already getting paid for. So if I decide to do it on my own time and not work or do it with the family, I have all this stuff already accumulated. So I would tell you another thing that coincides with whatever you're basically into.